Happy New Year 2025. This is my first video of 2025. Hi Crafties. Today I'm going to do a painting video. I'm going to show you how to paint this. 3 little cacti and some vines with little flowers. I'm going to be doing this painting demonstration at a class during the Ironwood meetup in Arizona in February. So I hope those that are going to take the class will watch this video. But anybody could do it.
Stitching stories in each town, colors weaving round and round, with a needle and a thread, so much life in what you said. Crafty traveler on the road, sewing dreams with every load. From city lights to fields of green, in each piece a memory seen. Paint and fabric in your bag, every town alive to tag. With your hands you mend and mold, crafting tales yet to be told. Patchwork quilt of places gone, in each scene the world you've drawn. Button days and ribbon nights tie the journey, make it bright. Every stitch a chance to roam, every brushstroke feels like home. Wanderlust in every thread, crafty traveler, forge ahead.
For those who are taking the class, I will be providing the supplies: paint, pencil, brushes, paper, and teaching the class, and I will collect $10 for everyone taking the class. Just to let you know up front. Okay, here's how to do this painting. Enjoy. This video is going to be for a class that I'm going to be doing at Ironwood meetup in February. And this is what everyone is going to get as far as supplies. I will be charging $10 a session this time because of the increase in supplies. First of all, the paints: alizarin crimson, lemon yellow, and ultramarine blue. And they'll come in these little palettes, 1 person per palette. And then I have pencils that have Crafty Traveler printed on them. Everyone gets a pencil and they can keep the pencil if they like. 2 paint brushes, a thicker one and a thinner one. Thicker brush and a thinner brush. And then the card, it's a little bigger than the postcard, and I'll have mounted it with tape to these cardboard boards that I have packing tape on to help it to be waterproof. And these cards come with an envelope. So everyone that takes my class will be getting these supplies when they come to the class. And of course, water. Everyone should bring their own water because we'll be out in the desert, and I will have little plastic cups to use for water. All right, I'm going to use the wider brush first, dip it into the water, and wet the area. Not too sloppy, just so it's wet. And I'm going to use the blue, a very wet, light blue, not very strong, and I'm going to paint over the whole card. here I actually pick up the painting and tilt it so that the paint will run down the paper. It should be darker at the top and lighter as you move down the card. When adding more paint, start at the top and work your way down to the bottom of the card. Tip the card so that it flows down and go all the way to each edge. Sorry, these are small brushes. You'll need to constantly dip into the water to add paint. Okay, now we let it dry. I'm going to use a hairdryer here at home, but we won't have a hairdryer out in the desert. Alright, the painting should be all dry. You test it with the back of your finger, not the front. And now we're going to take the pencil and we're going to draw the first cactus, which is going to be a prickly pear, and it's going to be over in the right hand side. You want to stay about an inch up and about an inch away from the edges. Draw a medium bump. Then connect it down at the bottom. Then we're going to draw another one a little bit smaller. A second one. And then two little bumps at the top that are going to have flowers. So just make a little half circle with zigzags on the top. Now I'm going to draw one on the right side, a small bump, and then another small one, and a little stem with the flower. I'm going to go over to the left side and draw a saguaro cactus. Again, about an inch in from the side and an inch above. Saguaro cactus are tall, so you need to make it tall, but you don't need to go all the way to the top of the page. Curve around, bring it down, and then this arm will come up and around. This arm is going to be a little lower and a little longer. So it's going to come up and around. No flowers on the saguaro. One little bump at the top, but no flowers. The center one is a barrel cactus. So they kind of look like a barrel. So you're just going to come up and down. No connections at the bottom like the prickly pear. And it's going to have a little bump with a flower. Okay, we've got all the cacti drawn. Prickly pear, a barrel, and a saguaro. Now I'm going to use the larger brush again and wetting it, picking up my palette, and dipping into the yellow. There must be a little blue on my brush because it's turning green, which is okay. And then you're just going to paint in where you drew the prickly pear. And you notice as you paint, it's green. We did the base paint of blue. Now we're putting yellow over it, and yellow and blue make green. in where you drew the little bumps, but not the flowers. And a little stem. There we go. That is the prickly pear cactus. Alright, now we're going to do the saguaro cactus on the left-hand side. This is so the left-handers won't smear other cactuses, and the right-handers can hold their hand up not to smear the other cactus. This one is going to be a little more yellow, so dip into the yellow and paint the cactus. It'll still be a green, but we want it to be a little lighter green or more yellow green as you paint in where you drew the cactus. A little more water helps to smooth things and get the paint on the brush. Don't be afraid to use the water. If it's not flowing, dip the brush into the water. Paint on the arms of the cactus. And I'm going to go down and straighten that right side a little bit. I didn't like the way it was curved. And that's a saguaro. No cactus look alike. And now for the barrel cactus. This one we want to be just a little bit darker green. So we're going to add blue into the yellow to make things a little more darker with the blue in there. Make it darker green. And then we're going to paint the cactus just like we did the other two. And hopefully there's a little contrast with that darkness. It looks like I got a little shadow going on without even trying. And then go up and paint the little petal. And maybe just a touch on the stem, but not the flower. Okay, there's a barrel cactus. Okay, we've got 3 cactus. A prickly pear, a barrel, and the saguaro cactus. Now I'm going to use the smaller, thinner brush, and we're going to paint the flowers in on the prickly pear. I'm going to dab into the red a little bit, don't need much, and just dab into the flowers that you drew. Make a little zigzag at the top. They're not complete circles. There's no perfect circle or straight lines in nature, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bumpy. And paint the same on the other side. Could be turned a different way, that's fine. And I think there is one more on the right side. Alright, those are the prickly pear flowers. Alright, now I want to rinse my brush out really good, get us all the red out of the brush because we're going to paint with yellow. Try and get some yellow that doesn't have any green and dab that into the barrel cactus flower. It'll still be a little greenish, but the idea is to be yellow. Yellow flower. And there are the flowers. Okay, we've finished with the flowers. Oh, I saw that little bud up there, so I'm going to dab in a little green up there and also dab in some green at the stem underneath the flowers a little bit. Okay, there we go. Let it dry. Now to test the dryness, you touch with the back or your side of your finger, not your fingertip. We're going to use the small narrow brush again, and we're going to paint some details in the saguaro. We want the color to be a darker green, so we're going to add blue into the yellow to make a darker green. Then with the tip of the brush, you're just going to draw in some lines on the saguaro. They don't have to be straight. No straight lines in nature. And just do a few lines. And I'm Go to the arm, paint a line in there, maybe another one, and two on the other arm, and then one little dot up there on the bud. Now we're going to paint the barrel cactus same way. Make lines, but make them more curved lines, so you get a little bit more of a sense that the cactus is more rounded. And then paint in some dots. Just dab on the cactus. Make dots for those spikes. Now, for the prickly pear, we're just going to make dots. Little random dots. Try not to do straight lines. Just random dots all over the prickly pear. So we have indications where those spikes go. Now, we're going to draw with the paintbrush some vines with leaves. So you're just going to come up from the bottom and make a little curvy line with the tip of the brush and a little leaf, just a little bump with a little fullness at the top. You don't have to make a lot, but just enough that it looks like a vine. And I'm going to make another one over here. I'm going to be doing a number of vines, so I think I'm going to speed up the video a little bit to save some time. Next, we're going to paint some little flowers on the vine. So you're going to be mixing red and blue together, which makes purple. Still using the thin brush, just with the tip of the brush, make little dots. A little wider at the bottom of the flower, close to the stem, and a little narrower at the top. Just little dots. Okay, now we're going to paint some ground. So you're going to mix purple and yellow together, which should make a dark brown. Kind of a purpley brown color. And start painting. I'm going to add a little red in there, a little more red. Okay, and start painting the ground. Don't paint all in a straight line. Ground isn't straight, ground is bumpy. So paint little hills and valleys along underneath the cacti and the vines. Leave some little spaces in between to indicate rocks. And just paint along. I think this would be easier, with the larger brush. But this is fine. Just dab in the paint. And there you have your little cactus study. You can sign it, let it thoroughly dry, and then we'll take the tape off and you can sign it. You have an envelope that you can write a message on and send it to someone, or you can go to a dollar store and get a little frame to put it in. Alright, it should be all dry. I'm going to pull the tape off. When you take the tape off, be careful to pull the tape away from the painting. If it's too wet under there, it could have attached to the paper. So be very careful about pulling the tape off away from the painting. I wanted to show you some of my previous paintings that I did for practice. This one's got the blue in the background. The second one, I didn't put the blue. That was actually the first one I painted. And this one I put blue in after and it ran. And again, this one I also put blue in after. Just to let you know that they're not going to be perfect. This is the one I just did. They're not going to be perfect. If it's the first time that you've done this, pat yourself on the back. It's just a little card that you could send to a friend. I hope you enjoyed the painting. I hope you tried the painting to practice. It's a very easy little painting, just of 3 little cacti. For those of you that are going to be at the Ironwood meetup, I hope you learn from this painting so that you'll be a little bit more prepared when we do the class. Okay, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, the works. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all my subscribers and viewers. Very good.